to episode 60 of the paper thing. That means we have 9 episodes left in Season 5. At the end of Season 5, what comes next? Why, it's Season 6, and what's happening in Season 6? All sorts of new stuff. I promised new stuff in Season 5. Didn't really happen. We got a new background, it got a bit improved, but Season 6, gonna have guests, gonna have new formats as well as the normal show. It's gonna be exciting, possibly gonna have some game streaming. By the way, hello Mark, how are you doing? By the way, I can exclusively, whatever the fuck that means, you know, given that I run the show, I can let you know, that background image, is that the grassy knoll? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's the Beatles on the grassy knoll from the newsletter yesterday, which is partly about the Beatles, but partly about the JFK files. Check it out, brokenbottleboy.substack.com. Yes, I can tell you what magazines we're going to have in the magazine special on Friday, or at least some of them. So, Unionized David tipped last week and asked for White Dwarf, and we're going to be doing White Dwarf. This one, issue 470, coming with a load of other stuff, and has this cool pirate dude on the back. What was Ringo doing in Dallas, Texas? Read the newsletter to find out. We will also be doing Double XL, which is not porn, it's a hip-hop magazine. And Little White Lies. There will be one other magazine, and there is still space for one other magazine. So, if you want to be the one choosing the other magazine we do, chuck some coins into the paper fund, paypal.me/Conquest of the Useless, and you can tell me what the 4th title should be. I mean, I also have the London Review of Books, but I've got that for myself, and I don't feel that that's going to be a great one for the magazine stream. But anyway, today, it's a 4-paper show. We've got the Sun, the Times, the Daily Mail, and the fucking Guardian. So, it's going to go Sun, Guardian, Times, Daily Mail. That's the order. Yeah, how are you all doing today? Today, I am drinking lemon San Pellegrino, so let's... I don't know, I mean, what condiment's that? Mustard? Mustard. Yo, SK, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's fucking do this. Let's do this. By the way, anyone who's just turned up, I can confirm, Friday stream, White Dwarf will be one of the magazines. Hey, Neon Lady, how you doing? Well... Get ready for some media insanity. Chronotherm, you're right, the LRB makes fun of making a mistake of being sensible, which is terrible fodder for the stream. It is St. Andrew's Day, the patron saint of Romania, and nowhere else is use of weapons. Front page of the Sun, top right-hand corner, celeb finally returns tonight. We're back. Doc, Omicron won't beat us. Makes it sound really like a speech bubble from a Spider-Man comic. And in the main story, I don't know why this is the main story of a national newspaper. Oh no, I do. It's because they are fundamentally unserious people. Yu-Gi-Oh! You shouldn't refer to yourself as a White Dwarf, Mick. Right, main story, exclusive, storm ordeal, hits tree in a £100,000 car, classic tabloid thing there, always got to say how much the car or house is worth, star, lucky to be alive, Sherry, smash, horror. Apparently, we now call Sheridan Smith Sherry. Why is the newspaper so colourful, says Mega Spiel? Well, it's because, if you go and check out my, Charles is a racist, he fully is a racist, yeah. By the way, that's not today's newspaper, that's yesterday's. Good gravy. Let me get get today's up. Boom. Yes, Megaspell, it is analytical highlighting. If you go to my Twitter, at Broken Bottle Boy, you'll see every day, go to the media tweets, every day I break down the newspapers using highlighting to show different elements of them. So in the case of this, pink is tabloidism, blue is a promotional bit or a bit of page furniture, orange is a statement, yellow is something from a briefing, and green is largely factual. Yeah. Megaspell, can't imagine a royal who isn't a massive racist. Yes, sort of par for the course. Right, okay, inside the paper. And thank you for your first time chat, Megaspell. Good. Thank you for joining us. On page 3, that isn't page 3, but is page 3, Elsa Pataki, who's she? Well, she is the wife of Chris Hemsworth. She's a model, and she's pictured wearing a swimsuit, because that's what models do. Good afternoon, Julie Prunes. How are you doing? Also on page 3, a Tiger King fan is doing a roaring trade impersonating Joe Exotic in Hull. Yeah, this is a guy who... What is he? Is he on Cameo? I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Pretending to be Joe Hypnotic. Joe Exotic. Joe Hypnotic, completely different show. On pages 4 and 5, exclusive scene of Star's horror smash. Literally just a picture of a car in a ditch. And the headline is Sherry Airborne. Like, I feel like this is trying to force Sheridan Smith into doing an interview with them. And there's a sidebar, highs and lows of a television favourite. Football club is Hull Tigers. Ah, right, that's why. Moving on. Page 8. Page 6. Tony's Law will cage child abusers for life. Typical Sun headline there. Child abusers will finally face life in jail in a crackdown by ministers today. Many people who do the kind of things that happened to Tony Smith. I'm not going to... Tony Hudgel, sorry. I'm not going to read out what happened to him because it's absolutely disgusting. Many of the things that have happened to him would get you life in jail, frankly. Use of weapons. Tony's Law will finally catch Rod Little. On page 7, broadcasters war with the Royals. I watched the second edition of Amal Rajan's quite bad documentary last night, and honestly, this stuff is ridiculous. Broadcasters war with Royals. Beeb's fresh Bashir insult to Wills. The BBC allowed Netflix to film The Crown at its central London HQ in a move which will further infuriate Prince William. Prince William fucking get over it, can't he? On pages 8 and 9, bid to halt panic over COVID variant Omicron. Keep cool and don't shut schools, says The Sun. Whatever. Right, of course, we've got quite a bit of coverage of the Ghislaine Maxwell case in today's papers. But before that, on page 11, I'm a Celeb's 3 days off air, £1 million down the dunny. A blow for IT. It's not even filmed in Australia at the moment. Blow for IT, but school's literally biggest driver to COVID rates is use of weapons, exactly. C-122, H-122, I want war with the Royals to happen like 1066. Mark Canosis, Prince Charles executed in Barbados, imagine. Red Tixie, Prince William should get in the guillotine, says Red Tixie, of course in a Minecraft simulation. Megaspell, what percentage of British people would you say actually care about the royal family? I've never met a single person who cares at all, but maybe that's because I don't associate with tosspots. Not a hardcore of people do, but not as many as people claim. Red Tixie, breaking news, the Queen is dead. The Queen is not dead at this time. Quick, let me get the sign. Queen, dead? Not dead. VAR says. Right, moving on. Pages 12 and 13. Sex trafficking trial of the century starts. I always hate that framing from newspapers about trials. Trial of the century. Every big trial gets called the trial of the century. Maxwell served up young girls for Epstein is the headline. Pyramid scheme of abuse. Ghislaine Maxwell fidgeted with nervous energy in courtroom 318 last night as the prosecutor pointed and called her a predator. Yeah. Megaspell, yeah, the Queen is currently undergoing a phase that's a phase from alive to dead. Mark Canosis, just going to check. What is this tweet? What is this tweet? I have to open the browser to read this tweet, Mark, so it better be worth it. The Queen has sent a message to the President. People, President and people of Barbados as well as a republic within the Commonwealth. It's a Ouija board. Yes, very good. 5 stars for that tweet. Clemmy Moody is awful. We've said this. Oh, fucking hell. Now the encoding has gone overloaded. God damn it. Clemmy Moody is awful, and she said, Royals gone from Victoria and Albert to Albert Square. For decades, the Queen has lived by the motto, never complain, never explain. Absolute horseshit, that. But of late, there's been an insidious influx of noise. Oh, God. How about we just get rid of them? Chronotherm, live from Norwich, it's Nicholas Parsons with Case of the Century. C122, H122, I would say a loud minority care about the Royals, and people who buy newspapers care about the Queen stuff. Clemmy Moody, what kind of name is that? Did Mick Landlords fuck with the internet again? No. Crostmas, Chef Gareth Mason has put a whole Christmas dinner into a pie. I would eat the fuck out of that. I would eat the fuck out of that. Look at that. 2 planes and 1 train later, US Tottenham fan travels 6,000 miles and then Burnley game snowed off. Harry Kane saved the day by inviting them to a home game as his guest when they're next in London. That's nice of him, isn't it? Mick, all you have to do is press Alt-4 and delete System 32 to get the internet to go fast again. Stop it, Tixie. I will not have this. On pages 18 and 19, the sexy secrets of selling Sunset star Heather Ray Young. I stripped for Playboy, but now I just do property porn. Alright. On page 21, don't mention the wall. Neighbour from hell. Cops called over mum's Nazi flag. Jesus Christ. Shocked neighbours called counter-terror cops after a mum hung a Nazi swastika, as opposed to the other kind, in her... Yes, I know that this is an ancient symbol, but at this point. Police were called after Amy Newport, 39, pinned up the Hitler emblem. Good second mention there from the Sun. In clear view from the street through a window, officers warned her she would be committing a criminal offence because a flag could be seen from outside. The mum of 2, a former warehouse worker, agreed to remove it from public view at her Swindon home after being given strong words of advice. One local resident said, you couldn't miss the flag, it's vile, and this is such a nice area, which makes it even more shocking. Yeah, no Nazis in nice areas. Hitler emblem. Hitler emblem. Hitler emblem. Don't mention the wall is the headline here. Asked by the Sun about the flag, Newport repeatedly refused to answer questions and deny she's a racist. I've got lots of flags in my home. Jesus Christ. When told a swastika was a racist symbol, her stepdad Derek said, so, you want to mind your own business? Wiltshire police said, we responded to a call from the member of the public on Friday evening who reported having seen what appeared to be a Nazi flag hung inside a room on the address in Lower Stratton, Swindon. Our officers attended the address that evening and gave strong words of advice. Yeah, take down the fucking flag. Middle-class Nazis doesn't seem like it. Yeah, can you imagine? I want to see her other flag. Yeah, she put up all of her flags. I would simply not hang a swastika in my window. Yeah, exactly, use of weapons. There we go. Hitler emblems are a landfill indie band, says Chronotherm. Hitler emblem writes for The Spectator, says Mark Canosis. Roman salute, says C122, H122. Yeah, yeah, I demand that she show the other flags. I demand that... There was a Nazi flag on an episode of Swap Shop once. No flags. No flag. Flags are bad. On page 25, Rita scrubs up, well, literally just a picture of Rita Ora in a swimsuit. Dealers, footy scouts, kid con, county lines, drugs lure. There's claim that drug dealers are posing as Premier League scouts to recruit children into county lines gangs, football bosses warned yesterday. Yeah, I mean, no connection between football and cocaine. Chris Kamara has said that Michael Vaughan isn't a racist because he's friends with him, apparently. Charlize Theron was out getting a tan, so they've given it the headline, Charlie Browns. Jesus Christ. Ball the Midwife. Expect mayhem on TV favourite this Christmas as 5 babies are born. Oh, fuck me. The Nazi flag was swapped for a signed Bucks Fizz at single, says Julie Prunes. Right. Apparently, Sarah Jane Dunn could return to Hollyoaks after being sacked for refusing to stop posting on OnlyFans. A source said, in a soap, it's very common for actors to drift in and out of the show. There we go. 5, that seems like a manageable amount of babies, particularly in a show that's about babies being born. Right, in Dear Deirdre today. Married for 30 years, but we've yet to have sex. I've been married for 30 years and my wife is still a virgin. It breaks my heart. I don't feel like a proper man. On our wedding night, I was eagerly getting ready for intercourse. Possibly the fact that you describe it like that put her off. But she stopped me saying, this doesn't feel right. I thought we'd try again the next night, but it never happened. We kiss and cuddle, but that is all. Jesus Christ. I think you'd need to be doing more than writing into the Sun Dear Deirdre column about that. A guy writes, wife thinks I'm a cheat after sex. It's official. I'm a first-class idiot. I've been sexting women as young as 18 and now my wife is behaving like I've been having an affair. Well, you have been fucking emotionally cheating on her. I only started chatting to them because I was bored and lonely, but she is having none of it. I'm a man of 37. My wife is 34. We have 3 little boys who are my world. We got married a year ago between lockdowns, and our boys were the ring bearers. It was such a lovely day. After the excitement of the wedding, we got back into a routine and everything felt flat. I have lived with depression since my teens, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. I would simply suggest that you don't sext other women. Yeah. Someone else's partner is still seeing her special friend. Children shun me after ex's lies. It's always horrible. Grandkid always looks ill and dirty, says someone. If you think a child is being neglected, do not just write into Dear Deirdre. Baby adjectives. 4 is a struggle, 5 is mayhem, 6 is chaos. You're welcome, says Julie Prunes. Binim says C122H122. Chronotherm says the no sex in 30 years is taking no nut November too far. Also, I mean, to be honest, that reads like a fake letter, doesn't it? I had to go photograph a plant repotting. What did I miss, says the Research Arena. Free the Hollyoaks, babe. Are there any sex surveys, says the Research Arena? There was yesterday. Yeah, person in the room for Binim. Person in the room is currently swimming in the river. It is fucking freezing out there, but she's off swimming in the river. She is person in the river. Have these people heard of communication, says the Research Arena? Clearly not. Dude is toxic as fuck. Yeah. In Fab Daily, is it ever okay to take your baby to work? Nikki Watkins, contributing editor at Fab Daily, says, yes, it is. Alice McIntyre says, no, it's not. And then there's a big picture of, guess who? Stella Creasy. The Batch lady reckons she can put together Christmas lunch for a £5, less than £5 per person. I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine, but yeah, I mean, that's not really shocking. River swimming's deeply Guardian reader. May I suggest Binner? No use of weapons, I refuse to. Also, frankly, she just calls it swimming and has been doing it long before the Guardian got obsessed with it. Person in the river. Mark Cano says, surely the answer is depends where you work. Yeah, if you work, for instance, I don't know, in a forge, probably not good to bring your baby to work. And in the sport today, a kick in the ballons. Ronaldo Fury awards lies. Fast as Lou beaten by Messi. Raging Cristiano Ronaldo was caught in a Ballon d'Or storm as Lionel Messi won for a record 7th time. Messi's victory over Bayern Munich striker Robert Lewandowski was overshadowed as Ronaldo branded an award chief a liar. France Football magazine boss Pascal Fer claimed Ron had told him his biggest ambition was to win the prize more times than Messi, but Ronaldo, 36, posted, Pascal Fer lied. He used my name to promote himself. Honestly, Ronaldo, you don't want to be getting into talking about who's lying about what. Yu-Gi-Oh! My child will be well trained at stocking shelves. Chronotherm, problem is at less than £5 per person, the alcohol won't be strong enough. Mark Canos is taking my baby on an Alaskan crab fishing boat. Depends on where you work. If you're in the army, probably not. These awards are a joke. Messi did not deserve that, in my opinion. I think Lewandowski should have won. Ronaldo deserves to be in prison, so swings and roundabouts. Exactly, Mark. John Meatball McKinn has more goals this season. Right, that was the Sun. Give me your scores. For me, it's a quadruple negative nice. Very bad paper. Right, today's speed round will be The Guardian. Oh, yes, indeed, it will. Can I do The Guardian in 2 minutes? Yes. Should I? Probably. The research arena. Just do what my mum did and send your kids to volunteer at the library over the summer. Yeah, difficult to do if they're babies, I guess. Triple negative nice from C122, H122, and a fair score at that. Use of weapons minus the number of monarchs Barbados has. Excellent. All right, here we go. 2 minutes. 2 minutes for The Guardian. Boop. Baby cage is the answer to C122, H122. Oh no. All right, 2 minutes starting now. It's The Guardian. Oh no, it isn't. I haven't put the thing in this frame, making it harder for myself. Right, here we go. Okay, here we go. It's The Guardian in 2 minutes, starting now. Front page of The Guardian. Britain's bad diet. Can we ever fix the way we eat? Probably not. He was a god to us. Stars pay tribute to Sondheim. Race to return 500,000 UK jabs a day as Omicron concern grows. Maxwell trial. I never thought today would come. And on the right-hand side, Cooper returns in Starmer reshuffle, and all the centrists come in their pants. Art review. A salutary, sobering, necessary reminder of empire. Life between islands. At the Tate Britain gets 5 stars. Film Classification Board revises ratings for use of racist language. Entirely sensible, but the Telegraph called them censors. In the sketch, John Crace. No time to panic yet, says Van Tam, as team goes into next round on 2 yellow cards. Fucking hell, him and his metaphors. Hospital chiefs say anxiety and belief in ability to handle struggle. Retail sector don't expect us to police the new rules. Radio 4's Today programme went off the air for 30 minutes yesterday. It was a blessed relief. Thousands have fourth night without power after Storm Arwen. Guests exit after 3 days trapped in a pub. They were trapped in there with an Oasis tribute band. Ghislaine Maxwell trafficked kids for sex, says a UK court. A UK court was told by the prosecutors. Everest to be president of the Royal Society of Literature. That's good news. Cooper returns in surprise Starmer reshuffle. Yeah, a surprise for Angela Rayner, certainly. In the world news, fresh travel curbs around the globe as Omicron cases and fears increase. In the Journal, Polly Toynbee says Tories cannot just wish away our obligations to refugees. Well, I bet they can. Once again, vulnerable people are left out in the cold, says Francis Ryan. Appalling. Hungry for change from ultra-processed blah, blah, blah. Food is bad, apparently. Viva Barbados. Finally, we're a republic, says a member of the committee that got Barbados to become a republic. White rhinos have been flown to Rwanda in an effort to save the species. And in the sport, Messi and Putellas crowned. Argentinian legend claims 7th Ballon d'Or in Paris, while Barcelona star Alexius Putellas reigns. Alexia Putellas. Secret talks over ending parachute payments. That's a very bad idea. Right, that's The Guardian. I mean, it's standard, isn't it? It's standard. I'd say, what? A standard negative nice. Rayner going to break Starmer. She is going to break Starmer. She has more pull in the pie. I agree. Starmer's Labour make In the Night Garden look like House of Cards, says Chronotherm. Ban The Guardian. Guardian needs banning from writing about diets until they learn that class exists. 100%. 100%. This shit. I hate this shit. Use of weapons. Woko Haram don't want your kids to hear the N-word 5,000 times in the latest Tarantino film. They literally are censors, though. Funny what gets euphemized in our society. Well, the BBFC... See, I think the use of the word censor for the BBFC is an interesting one. There did used to be an official censor, which is Lord Chamberlain's office. The classification, it is a classification of stuff. I mean, philosophically, I don't disagree with you, Mark, but the use, when say the Telegraph uses the word censor in that respect, it's doing a certain thing. It's doing a certain thing. There's a bigger conversation to be had there, though. Use Weapon says history of BBFC is quite interesting. It is indeed. Hey, Dick Pendron, how are you doing? Mark Cano says they effectively function as censors in the same way the old Lord Chamberlain did. Again, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, it's definitely something we can have a longer debate about, but I think yes and no. The question is there a necessity for films to be classified? Yeah, probably to an extent. Do they go too far? Yes. Am I pro-censorship? No. It's a fucking mess, isn't it? Anyway, right. Yeah, you're not getting into cinemas without classification. That's true. That is true. And so in that respect, you can say, well, it's a form of censoring cinema. Yeah. Yeah, hi Dick. Hey, how's it going? The Standard Guardian, Billy Ham leader. Yeah, right. The Times. Here we go. Front page of the Times. Alexandra Schulman, Cancer and Me, former Vogue editor, on her diagnosis. She wrote about this in the Mail on Sunday at the weekend. So I'm wondering if this is just that syndicated. Have you got this winter super cold? I haven't yet, touch wood. On the right-hand side, Maxwell served girls to be abused. Another report on the prosecution case there. Main story, scramble to get jabs in arms. Millions more eligible to booster as threat from Omicron variant grows. Inside the paper, the first 2 pages are dedicated to a Rolex ad, which tells you who the Times thinks or wants to have reading its paper. MI6 will keep enemies at bay by teaming up with tech firms. Fuck off. On page 5, Prince Charles greets new Barbados born of dark days of empire. I tell you what he could do to apologise for the dark days of empire. Demolish, dismantle, destroy the monarchy. Mark Kenosis, I was going to say Cancer and Me is a more depressing follow-up to Marley and Me, then remembered how depressing Marley and Me is. Yeah, Cancer and Me might be more upbeat. Courtiers blamed for royal split. Another report on the Rajan documentary. They were partners in crime. She groomed girls to satisfy Epstein is the headline on a longer report on the Maxwell case. There's a really annoying, small story here. Love and support from loyal family. Blood is often thicker than water, even when they're accused of the most heinous crimes. And Ghislaine Maxwell has been able to count on the staunch support of her family since her arrest and indictment by the FBI last year. Her sister Isabel, 71, was in court to witness the start of the long-awaited trial as part of the team manned by the Maxwell clan that is united to fight Ghislaine's defence over the past year. Ghislaine's defence. I don't like when they call her by her first name. Confronting the charges, their younger sister had allegedly procured underage girls for sex with a friend, convicted with her friend, the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Isabel was adamant of her innocence. The 6 Maxwell siblings, along with Ghislaine's husband, the tech entrepreneur Scott Borgerson, contributed to a £28.5 million bail fund following her arrest last year, and several have played an active role in her defence. Ian, her 65-year-old brother, who serves as a family spokesman since the scandal erupted, insisted this week that his sister had been deceived by Epstein, who acted alone, despite Ghislaine's long and close relationship with him. Fuck off. Her sister's a neck deep in state surveillance in Silicon Valley, yeah. More I read about Maxwell, less I like about her, as C121, H121 predicts it should be Marley and I, goddammit. She's going to have superb lawyers and get off, I reckon. Yes, I think that's likely, to be honest. MPs must promote respect and diversity under sleaze rules, writes Henry Zethman. Yeah, that's going to happen. Neighbours decide planning rules using street referendums, because as we've learnt, referendums work really well. Times are not being subtle at all in their support for Ghislaine, says Neon Lady. They are not indeed. On page 9, I want them to suffer, Son wrote before killing. A son who stabbed his mother dozens of times and killed her multi-millionaire partner at his country mansion after telling a friend in a text message, I want them to suffer. Thomas Schreiber, 35, left Anne Schreiber, 66, with life-changing injuries and stabbed Sir Richard Sutton, 83, a hotelier who was one of Britain's wealthiest men in the heart. Jesus Christ. Javid tries to allay Tory fears with promise to lift new curbs. The awful, Quentin Letts says, after pepper and sleaze, the spark has gone. Spark wasn't really there to start with, lads. Starmer leaves deputy in the dark as he reshuffles his team. What superstars they've got in there. Jesus Christ. Theatre director blames his lewd behaviour on suffering a stroke. One of Britain's most renowned theatre directors, Max Stafford Clark, has broken his silence on sexual harassment allegations, acknowledging mistakes, but staying a stroke was partly to blame. He admits in a new book that he was in a position of power and did not always exercise it with responsibility. The 80-year-old director, who was ousted from the Out of Joint Theatre Company in 2017 after allegations of inappropriate sexual behaviour, said he had often said what I pleased and often exceeded the norms of office banter with members of the opposite sex. He suggested that the impact of a stroke in 2006 had affected his decision-making and made him emotionally labile. This means that the damage to the frontal lobe of the brain makes the sufferer emotionally incontinent. He wrote in the book, "Some letters I never sent. I am certainly not claiming that every provocative or irresponsible remark I made between 2006 and 2017 was caused by the injuries, but I am clear that my prevalent proclivity towards provocations was at times exacerbated and uncontrolled." He said to people stuff like, "Back in the day, I'd have been up you like a rat up a drain pipe." Oh God. Yeah, but just blame it on your stroke, mate. Scientists worry for future of weasels as numbers halve in 50 years. We're a pro-weasel stream. We talk about enough politicians. The Maxwell trial has caused a worldwide drought of paper T-shirts, says Gonzo Socialism. Police passed us on, says Survivor. Guitar teachers fret about the rise of the ukulele. The claim is the ukulele is going to kill off the guitar. Mark Kenosis. Anyone who alliterates that much is clearly a complete cunt. Use of weapons says save the weasel. M25 activists treated after fortnight on hunger strike in jail. Online safety bill to make tech giants tackle scams. Is it just? The fucking online safety bill is a busted flush. England cricket legend 89 backs assisted dying as he reveals he has cancer. This is Ray Illingworth, the former England cricket captain, has voiced his support for legalised assisted dying. Terror attack response was shameful. That's more on the Manchester Arena bombing. The RAF has ditched the terms airman and airwoman in favour of the gender-neutral term aviator. This seems fine. Decision was quietly announced in the November issue of Air Clues, an official RAF magazine, in a section about safety objectives. It read, "No longer does aviator mean just air crew. The term has now been replaced airman to bring right up to date the way we should describe all our personnel in a modern and appropriate manner. So it's no longer soldiers, sailors and airmen, but soldiers, sailors and aviators. Watch out for TV commentators getting used to that." Fine. But of course, the move drew a furious reaction from Patrick Mercer, the former Tory MP and retired Army Colonel. Mercer, 65, who's 25 years an Army officer, included postings to Red Flag, Northern Ireland, and Bosnia, said, "For years I had airmen and airwomen under my command. You have two perfectly good, historic, tried and tested terms that have never caused any difficulties or problems. It is needless wokery." Fuck off, mate. Just reading about Robert Maxwell's life. Yeah, he was Mossad, a thief. Also linked to MI6 and KGB. Yeah. Has the RAF gone woke? How will they bomb kids now, says Use of Weapons. Aviator is cooler sounding anyway, says Heathmore. Yeah. An artist whose work is removed from sale by the Royal Academy of Arts after campaigners accused her of, guess who this is, of transphobia, has said that ostracising people over their opinions is Cold War nonsense that prevents free discussion. It's Jess DeWall, who was at the centre of the row in June after 8 people on social media took offence to her writing a 2019 blog that people could not... Oh, fuck it, I can't care. Oh, God. Page 27. Urban wetland helps to wash away crime. It's bullshit. In the comments section, William Hague says, nationalism is bankrupt and has no answers. Tell that to the leader of the Conservative Party. Shit artist, says Mark Kenosis. Giles Corran here, both sides, the far right. So ready for this? Of course, Giles Corran is far right. Speaking of our friends in Europe, did you see those glorious photos of a protester flicking the far right presidential candidate Eric Zemmour middle finger in Marseille on Saturday, followed by Zemmour flicking her one straight back? Now, I don't like protesters and I don't like the far right, but I have to confess I envy modern France, the quality and sophistication of its political debate. Doesn't like protesters. Doesn't like the fucking both sides. Fuck off. And Melanie Phillips is awful. Not going to bother with that. Hugo Riffin's written a column about Christmas, which is fine. Red Tick said, yes, Dawn Foster forever. Dawn Foster forever. And fuck Giles Corran. Yes, correct. In the corrections and clarifications today, they write, owing to a production error, we said that winter fuel payment for those on state pension is £3,000. It is in fact between £100 and £300. Yeah, it's been too long since Giles Curran's car was last stolen, says the Neon Lady. Evergreen says, SK the Crusader, agreed. Never should Giles Curran have a car go unstolen. Curran's such a scumbag, says Struggle Ruffian. Hello, Struggle Ruffian. Thank you for your first time chat. Appreciate it. And you are correct. In the birthdays today, Ridley Scott is 84. Baroness Hilary Armstrong of Hilltop, Labour MP till 2010. Minister for the Cabinet Office and Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster until 2007 is 76. John Bishop, the comedian, is 55. Tsai Chin, the actress, is 85. Desiree, the pop and soul singer, is 53. Sir Graham Dingle, mountaineer, 76. George Duffield, the flat race jockey, rode 2,547 winners, is 75. Billy Idol, the rock singer, is 66. Dan Jarvis, Labour MP for Barnsley Central and Mayor of the South Yorkshire Mayoral Combined Authorities, 49. Tayari Jones, the novelist, is 51. Lorraine Kelly is 62. Josh Lucy, the rugby union player, is 45. Gary Lineker is 61. Sir Stephen Lovegrove, the National Security Advisor, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Defence until March 2021, is 55. Radulupu, the concert pianist, is 76. Professor Ian McKeever, the artist, 75. Lord Patrick McLaughlin, MP for Derbyshire Dales till 2019. Conservative Party Chairman and Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster till 2018, is 64. Terence Malick, the film director, is 78. David Mamet is 74. David Nichols, the novelist, is 55. Manny Patinkin, the actor, is 69. Nice. Ben Stiller, the actor and director, is 56. Charlie Stemp, the actor, is 28. Sir Hugo Squire, the Conservative MP for East Devon till 2019 and a Foreign Office Minister till 2016, is 62. Lord Graham Tope, the Liberal Democrat MP until 1974, is 78. Sir Johnny Weatherby, the Chairman of the Horse Racing Specialist Weatherby's and Her Majesty's Representative at Ascot till 2020, is 62. And Kate Williams, the historian, professor of history, University of Reading, and the writer of The House of Shadows, is 47. On this day in 1979, Pink Floyd released The Wall, their 11th studio album. It spawned the #1 single, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. The last word today in this column goes to Ralph Waldo Emerson, the essayist, philosopher, and poet in Conduct of Life, who said, "The first wealth is health." Yeah, and one way to get the first wealth is to have wealth. Use of weapons. I don't like protesters. I like the French political atmosphere. Giles, the French love protesting, you desiccated scrotum. Thank you, use of weapons. Mark Canosis, the lively culture of debate at La Pedophile Racisme. Soul Chicken, hello. Loving the emotes. Oh, what is the Duchy of Lancaster? It's like a department. It's a government department, kind of a government office. It gives you a reason to be in the cabinet, effectively. Various jobs are invented to allow people to be on the government payroll, and that is one of them. Yes. Right. In the world news, ex-nuclear chief admits Iran aimed to build the A-bomb. Pistorius moves closer. Move closer to Reva's family. Oscar Pistorius has been moved to jail closer to the parents of his murder victim before a face-to-face meeting, which will happen before parole is considered. In France, plans to endow the interior of Notre Dame Cathedral with modern art, ambient lighting, and more visitor-friendly experience has been decried as Disneyfication. A hacker gained access to household security cameras and other smart devices that stole video of people when they were naked or having sex and sold it online. That's in South Korea. In Hong Kong, Disney has self-censored The Simpsons to remove an episode which criticizes censorship of the Tiananmen Square massacre. In the episode... Episode 12 of Season 16, Gugu Gai Pan, in which the Simpsons visit Beijing. There they visit the embalmed body of Mao Zedong, described by Homer Simpson as a little angel that killed 50 million people, and visits Tiananmen Square where a sign reads, "On this site in 1989, nothing happened." Front of the Times 2 is the story about... about Alexander Shulman and cancer. Zodiac Killer trained a gang of thugs. The man suspected of being the Zodiac Killer lived a second life in a small Californian town as a Fagin-like ringleader of a gang of young thugs who he trained to be killing machines, according to investigators. I mean, that sounds like it would make an amazing TV show. That's in the US, obviously. A Muslim groom who posed as Jewish sparks FBI alert when a newly married Orthodox Jew was discovered by his New York father-in-law to be a Lebanese Shia Muslim in deep disguise. The FBI went into overdrive. Was this some Iranian plot against the Jewish community? Was 23-year-old Elia Hawila from Texas, real name Ali Hassan Hawila, from Lebanon, gathering information for terrorism? No, they have decided, and now Hawila has described what he was really up to. He was in love. I lied because I was in pain, Hawila told Israel's Khan television station. I want them to understand where my pain is coming from. At this point, he started weeping. They separated away from me. His lies began to unravel shortly after he married his love in a grand Jewish ceremony in New York. Her name has been withheld. His bride's father, Sephardic Jew of Syrian origin, lived in Brooklyn, came across his new son-in-law's Lebanese passport. Hawila panicked and claimed he was employed by America's National Security Agency as an undercover agent, a claim he has since retracted. The father-in-law double-checked the story, and within days the FBI and Homeland Security had descended. They discovered Hawila had spent years studying the Torah in yeshiva or religious school at the A&M University in Texas, where he studied engineering. He had attended the Hasidic Orthodox Chabad Lubavitch synagogue. However, they also discovered that his interest in Judaism went back to his early teenage years. As a lonely boy in Tyre, southern Lebanon, he'd taken to wondering about the nature of God. He became fascinated by the history of the Jews in his country. He made himself a cardboard kippah. When the family moved to Texas, he tried to convert formally, but the Reform synagogue rejected him. I started just saying, I'm Jewish, he said, and named himself a liar. He studied privately and adopted Orthodox clothing. Then he met a girl. He told her that he was an agent in disguise to disguise discrepancies in his background. She kept his secret and never doubted he was Jewish. Her father, though, was a different matter. When the authorities arrived, Hawila had no option but to come clean. There is now little chance of a happy ending. Given his failure to disclose his true identity, the marriage is automatically invalid. But Hawila is not giving up hope. If she wants to give me a second chance, she can. But I wanted to know she is the love of my life. Jesus, what a bizarre story. How did Ted Cruz have the time for that? I'm going to say it wasn't an Iranian plot and he was just horny. Correct, Mark Kenosis. A library book that was 110 years overdue has been returned. More than a century ago, a reader walked into Boise Public Library in Idaho and checked out the sequel to a classic volume of children's fiction. Some 40,000 days later, the new Chronicles of Rebecca, a 1907 novel by Kate Douglas Wiggin, has been returned anonymously. A faded stamp on the inside cover reveals a due date of November 8, 1911. Where it was in the intervening years, no one knows. Jack Dorsey's quit as the boss of Twitter again, this time likely for good. Chronotherm, don't lie to people you love. Yes, that is good advice. In the obituaries today, Lieutenant General Sir Sandy Boswell, British Army commander whose calm but tough style of leadership in the wake of Bloody Sunday undermined the IRA in Belfast. Once again, we are celebrating motherfuckers with whole pages. Elsewhere, Virgil Abloh, the fashion designer, Kanye West collaborator and first black man to become an artistic director of Louis Vuitton, has died. He was just 41. And Joan Carlyle, soprano at the Royal Opera House who made ragu for Pavarotti and sneezed 12 times every morning to clear her head, has died. She was 90. Jack Dorsey has quit to spend more time with his stomach parasites, says Mark Kenosis. Fleece checkline men's zipper, £25, very ugly. Is something fucked up coming up about Twitter? I don't know. Genuinely thought you were going to say, once again, we are a pro-IRA stream. No, I wasn't going to say that. To be honest, the person in the room's family is a product of a mixed marriage. I will say that one of her grandparents was not allowed to go into the church for fear of him getting shot. Pretty bad scenes all around there. Use of weapons. Undermine the IRA. MI5 had infiltrated the IRA to such a degree that they had agents on the command council. Yeah. And on the other side, the security services were colluding with loyalist terror constantly. Gonzo Socialism. There are articles in US News about the board being investigated over financial irregularities in Twitter. Yeah, I think the thing with Twitter is he's not really been doing a good job, and they want him out because he was doing double duty with Stripe. Not Stripe, with fucking, what is it called? Square. Use weapons. I'm absolutely convinced that the Troubles was British Gladio. Yeah, I mean, yes. Are you wearing a Repeal the 8th sweatshirt? I'm wearing, it's a sweatshirt. Yes. I know Anna who made those sweatshirts quite well, but actually it is Person in the Room sweatshirt, but I wear it quite a lot. And in the sport, Rangnick to target coach and £33 million star. United's new manager plans high pressing style. Tiger Woods thought he might lose his leg after the crash he was in. And Barba's new bubble breach. The Barbarians are investigating claims that members of their squad visited the Hyde Park Winter Wonderland in the build-up for their match against Samoa that was cancelled on Saturday because of a COVID outbreak. Conso socialism, it hides his bra. Use weapons. Wearing women's clothing, yeah, I'm going to do a cringe flash mob of witches outside your house. Well, it is, in fact, unisex clothing. As all clothing is, really. Person in the River has returned. She's now Person in the Room again. Well, she's downstairs, so. Right. Now we come to our final paper of the day, which is the Daily Mail. Boo. Broken bottle boobs, says Chronotherm. Right, Daily Mail front page. Why new jab roll out as a giant boost for Christmas? Oh, fucking hell, we're not going to get past this fucking Christmas shit. Main story: Maxwell trial day 1. Dramatic reports. Ghislaine, predator who served up young girls to be abused. That, of course, is the prosecution's line and the line of anyone who's been paying attention. Rachology, double negative nice for the Times for the normal tedious shite and an extra -69 for returning the transphobic artist story. I expect more original transphobia from the Times. Their standards are slipping. Red Tick Seed says, my sweatshirt looks good on me. Yes, there she is. Person from the river. The big, beautiful pumpkin.
6 degrees of water was today.
You do look like an amazing pumpkin.
Thanks.
Right. Chronotherm, only Christmas matters, nothing else. There she goes, my beautiful pumpkin. On page 2, wait for vaccine booster dose is cut to 3 months. On page 3, it's Christmas in November. Celebrities dashing to show off their trees. Well, I mean, it is December tomorrow, for fuck's sake. Use of weapons like your hat. Nice hat. I lost my hat while getting drunk on Saturday. Oh, that sucks.
Find the charity shop.
Have a good election, Mark. Good to see you. C122, H122, move Christmas to April. Right, elsewhere in the paper, pages 4 and 5 are, of course, about the Ghislaine Maxwell case. They lured victims with promise a brighter future, then destroyed them. She's been blamed, the defence says she's been blamed for what a man did, just like Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Jesus Christ.
Ghislaine Maxwell, famously like Eve. Right, moving on. Heathmore 2401 says, hello, pumpkin in the room. On page 6, glossy hair, heels, cashmere, hogs with her lawyers in Kavanagh's courtroom 318. She carved off the victim status of jailhouse brutality. Oh, shut the fuck up. Lolita Express pilot who flew Epstein for over 25 years is the first witness in the case. For the prosecution, I think. On page 13, it's Billy and the Couture Club. Billy Piper wore a dress. On page 14, did BBC tone down Harry and Meghan documentary? Probably. Robert Maxwell did not own the Daily Mail. He owned the Daily Mirror. She's more like a snake, Mick. Yes, Gonzo Socialism agreed. Sussexes are to blame for race slur witch hunt, says Richard Kay, who would say that, wouldn't he? Sleaze Watchdog urges MPs to push diversity. Of course, the Daily Mail's angry about that. Talking about people who are bigots, David Blunkett, with the intro to the piece, this. As a blind man, David Blunkett found priceless companionship in Radio 4 until he says it was hijacked by the excruciatingly unfunny and hectoring left. Fucking hell. A man there, Labour Home Secretary. You know the jet that went into the Mediterranean? Yeah, it fell off the end of the boat, basically. Ruckus at the riding school as receptionist beats up her sister-in-law. Working together at family-owned riding school, sisters-in-law Kirsty Whittington and Hayley Dickens weren't the best of friends, and tensions finally came to a head when instructor Miss Dickens accused receptionist 39-year-old Whittingham failing to do her job properly. Whittingham, a mother of two, started repeatedly punching her sister-in-law around the head, a court was told yesterday. Miss Dickens says she still has hearing problems 6 months after she was struck on her ears, eye and jaw. Whittington claims she acted in self-defence after Mrs. Dickens attacked her, but District Judge Julia Newton convicted her of assault causing bodily harm. Why the fuck is this in the paper, in the national newspaper?
Because it's women fighting.
Right.
It'd be sexy.
Blunkett's a piece of shit, says Red Tick Seed. Agreed. Use of weapons. Someone just changed his radio from Radio 4 to True and On podcast episodes, and Blunkett hasn't noticed. Imagine if you can, left-wing comedians. Shocking, I know, says Chronotherm. Someone brought in an 11 stone, 5 pound halibut. It's a very big fish. Alright, here we go. This is the most fucked up thing in the papers today. A thing that made person in the room laugh out loud for so long and so loudly I thought it was going to become an asthma attack. Duped and taken for thousands by my own psychic. Divorced and vulnerable, Samantha Brick let a clairvoyant take over her home and her friends. And she even paid for her Botox. Gullible, read her account and ask if you'd have seen it coming. And guess what? She's written this to connect into that Apple TV story, the psychotherapist next door one, right? Clearly, most of this is made up. But remember, this is Samantha Brick, the woman who once claimed she was so beautiful that other women resented her for it. Oh, yes.
I know that I'm giving it too much attention and what it proves is attention. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Gonzo Socialist and Pro Halibut. Blunkett agreed with the far right on Muslims. Yes, he did. C122, H122. Why did they bring it in? Just for the halibut, says Ritix. Unmasked by Judge, the youngest gun murderer in Britain. Was a 14-year-old kid. Yeah. You right? Yeah. On this day, November 30th, 2021, from the Daily Mail archive, November 30th, 1939, David Niven, the first British film star, is returning from the US to fight. Is the first British film star to return from the US to fight, arrived in London last night, determined to join the Royal Air Force. The former Highland Light Infantry second lieutenant would have been home sooner, but Samuel Goldwyn sued to keep him in Hollywood. In the end, Niven became a lieutenant colonel in the commandos. November 30th, 1973. The magician Ali Bongo went on TV last night in a failed bid to prove that the metal mind-bending powers of Israeli Uri Geller are just tricks. Metallurgist Dr. Alistair Brown, who appeared with Mr. Bongo, said, "I don't find this as impressive as Uri. I believe Mr. Bongo was using a physical bending process." Right, yeah. It's bullshit, basically.
Just like the psychic.
Lorraine Kelly is 62. Ben Stiller is 56. Born on this day in 1835. Mark Twain, also born on this day. Shirley Chisholm, 1924 to 2005. In 1968, she became the first black woman elected to the US Congress, and 4 years later, the first major party black candidate to make a bid for the presidency. She assured voters, 36 men have been president of the United States, and I am better than all but 6 or 7 of them. Amazing. On November 30th in 1966, Barbados became an independent state after 361 years of British rule. Well, occupation, I would say. In 2017, the world's longest lasting rainbow was recorded in Taiwan at 8 hours, 58 minutes. The quote of the day comes from Miles Davis. "A legend is an old man with a cane known for what he used to do. I'm still doing it." Joke of the day. I had an argument with a 90-degree angle. It kept insisting it was right.
Don't be funny if it was an 89-degree angle.
Red Tixie, odd that they don't pick any articles from the 1930s where they praise the German Chancellor. Congratulations to Barbados for becoming a republic, says Neon Lady. Agreed. Even Mel Brooks' friends told him a musical about the Nazis was crazy, but as he reveals in his riotous memoir, it won him an Oscar and launched a glorious, eccentric movie career. And they said the world wasn't ready for a comedy about Hitler. The Daily Mail.
Well, we can laugh about it now.
Which Lorraine Kelly, the real one, or the one that's on a TV personality for tax reasons? Curiously, they share the same birthday. Ban jokes, says Gonzo Socialism. Agreed.
Lorraine Kelly goes stale if she's exposed to air, so that definitely makes her cake.
Yes. Twitter's £8 million boss quit. Shares soar as under fire. Founder Dorsey steps down. That's the Daily Mail's angle on that one. Now another freed murderer has been recalled to prison. A second notorious killer has been recalled to prison after controversially being freed by the parole board. Russell Causley, 78, could now be kept locked up until he reveals what he did with his wife's body. He murdered Veronica Packham, 40, in 1985 and spent 24 years in prison. I don't quite know why they let him out, to be honest. Is a new Alzheimer's wonder drug really such a miracle, says the Daily Mail? I'm going to guess not if you're asking it like that. Various porridges they think are good for you. The best rated one is the Rude Health Sprouted Porridge, which is apparently easier to digest. That gets 9 out of 10. As does the Organic Super Porridge. That gets 9 out of 10. Yeah. And
what's wrong? Is it not just like porridge? Like
it's porridge with added
bits?
faff in it. I
miss the old days, Mick, when it was just porridge.
Yeah. Before the porridge was woke.
Yeah.
Pick of the day, attack on Pearl Harbor, caught by surprise, 9 PM, Channel 5. In the TV reviews, Winter Walks, 3 stars. And Along for the Ride with David O'Doherty only gets 2 stars. Media is in the pocket of big porridge, says Dick Pendrin. Use of weapon suggests porridge with ketamine in it. C122, H122, how hard is porridge to eat? I don't know, it depends if you're a Daily Mail reader, I guess.
And very hard for Goldilocks.
Very hard for Goldilocks, fact. Garfield is hanging out with a bird, a literal bird, and the bird, he's whistling, and the bird inside the house knows that he is a cat rather than a bird. He's holding a fake bird. And they've installed a video doorbell, and that's how they can tell that Garfield's trying to trick them. In Chloe & Co., Chloe is talking to a man. She said, I had a chat with your bossy wife. She tells me you're husband number 3. And the man says, yeah, but she treats me like number 2. Bin him. Fred Bassett and Jock are out. Fred Bassett, Jock, and the little scrappy dog are out. Jock is about to perform a new magical backflip and disappear into thin air, he says, and Jock does disappear. Stir a mince pie into your porridge. It's Boss, or just mincemeat, says King United 2. I heard that is good. I've heard that is good. Right, I'm afraid it's a Tuesday, and that means the poems are back. Today's poem, it comes from Lindsay Hartgroves. It's long, and it's bad. It's autumn now and golden leaves are falling on the grassy ground. I rake them into ragged piles of twigs and bits of wood I found. I find the place where we pile logs and start to build the fledgling pyre with layers of wood and leaves and sticks to make our first bonfire. I fetch the box down from the house, the holes that things I need to burn. I've gathered them throughout the year, all piled in waiting for their turn. The card receipts and bank accounts, utilities and council tax, the poems that just didn't work, the manuscripts that came right back. As evening falls and daylight fades, I build the bonfire strong and tall, as with the water pail to hand, I strike the match to light it all. I've stuffed the papers through the base to catch the fire, to make the fire catch all around. It starts to burn. I see the flames. It generates a crackling sound. It's quite cathartic every time to burn the papers no one needs. This year we moved, so lots of junk with legal stuff and old house deeds, removal bills, surveys report. There's nothing here that we need to keep.
It's all fucking digital.
Our old life will go up in smoke. Into the new we boldly leap. Jesus fuck.
It's no wonder they're getting a lot of rejection letters.
Yeah, it's a bad poem. It's long and it's bad. Mick, have you been talking to my exes? Can you? West Ferry 1798, thank you for your first chime chat. Lorraine Kelly, Commander of the Order of the British Empire. Bit of respect, please. Does an Empire honour get you a tax reduction? I suspect so. Red Tixie, pain. I hate it. King United 2, the other good porridge thing I know is put lemon curd and fresh blueberries. Blueberries I've done, but the lemon curd, interesting. Yu-Gi-Oh! You can either
Oh,
end this poem or end me. Either would be a blessing. Where are the rhymes? Abolish the alphabet, says Gonzo Socialism.
Point out the child in the room has the best porridge because it has peanut butter in it.
That's true. Child in the room likes to have peanut butter in her porridge, which a lot of peanut butter, to the point that it's almost a
We get a lot. We go through a lot.
We go through a lot of peanut butter. It turns into you could tack things to the wall with it.
Yeah.
Heath more likes peanut butter. Ban rhyming couplets, says Gonzo Socialism. In the straight to the point letters, Judith Austin of Sherburn on Dorset says, the French were very happy to see British boots on their beaches in 1944. Oh, fuck off. D. Dora says, fishermen to block channel amid Brexit row, so the French do have the means to stop migrants. June Esty says, message to Rebecca Vardy and Colleen Rooney, grow up. Helen Moore says, why is being back at work 3 hours after giving birth an achievement? A baby is a gift, not another job in a busy schedule. David Wilkinson says, I have 43 cookbooks, 19 travel guides, and 27 gardening books. All unused. Well, why don't you crack a spine? John Allen says, my son, a police officer for 2 decades, applied for a promotion. When asked, what was your assigned gender at birth, he replied, the doctor took one look and told my mother she had a healthy boy. He didn't get the job. I'm not sure that's the reason. Anne Payne says, the probate office should be renamed Slowbait. It took 18 months and a lot of stress to sort out my late husband's estate. Sheila Davidson of Belfast. Here she comes. Da 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 da. Boom.
How refreshing to watch MasterChef without Greg Wallace bellowing at us.
Thank you very much. And Ashley Cantor of Buntingford, real name, says, is the BBC so bereft of talent it has to have Ronan Keating on Morning Live, the one show Strictly It Takes Two and Saturday Kitchen?
Wait till they hear about Bradley Walsh.
ACAB says use of weapons. Dick Penrith, we should run a stream competition to get letters and poems published by the Mail. Red Tick says, you do not want to see what Kinyu does with... Oh, I like that idea, we should do that. Anti-Greg Wallace action, agreed. Good comment, hard agree, fuck Greg Wallace. Yeah, I like... What?
What fucker ate all the jam?
Well, kid in the room partially, and the rest of us. There's a little jam on the side there.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted the cherry jam, both of which have gone.
Oh, well, shouldn't be so slow about it, should you?
Ugh.
Right, today's recipe is cod with orange and dill crumb and Hasselback potato. It does look actually quite nice.
Hasselhoff.
With Hasselhoff potatoes. They're trying to sell you roses, weird Christmas meals through the post, a flannel nightshirt and nightcap for £45. Buy it for a father you hate. Not necessarily your own, just anyone you can come across. All-inclusive cruise of China's wonders. Wood says he'll never play golf again. Wallace looks like a baked bean with specs. End Dill says use of weapons. Cherry Jam, not good enough. Says C122, H122. And on the back page, Ragnick Farce. United manager's arrival on hold due to COVID rules and red tape. Tiger, I'll never play full-time golf again. Love some Hasselback potatoes, says Crawfish. Cherry Jam, very bourgeois, says Yu-Gi-Oh! What is the...
And my best porridge I had recently was in the BA Lounge in Glasgow.
Yeah. Gonzo, she's married deeply beneath her station with me. Gonzo Socialism, Hasselhoff Spuds. Kinyu 92, Cherry Jam, second best for PB&J after the IKEA Lingonberry. We're getting a lot of good recommendations here. Right, that was the Daily Mail. Give me your scores. It's a very terrible paper. For me, it's a centuple negative nice.
This is Chuckleberry jam, and I don't even know what Chuckleberry
Chuckleberry?
is. That's what it says, Chuckleberry
Is it product of the Chuckle Brothers?
It doesn't say.
Right, so thank you for joining me for today's show. Now, reminder, Friday's episode is a magazine special. We've got White Lies. We've got Double XL, and we have White Dwarf magazine. But there is still a gap. There is still one gap. So, if you want to be the person who picks the fourth magazine for Friday's magazine special, stick some coins in the paper fund and put in the comment what magazine you want me to do. Quadruple negative nice from Red Tick Seed. C122 said it was boring. Gethin Win Jones says Lingonberry is lovely. C122 H120 to me, to you, Jam. Chuckleberry. Chuckleberry Jam. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, says Kin United Take.
It was free from the train.
Yeah, Red Tick Seed. Spreading the jam. To me, to you. This is, I could go on all day, couldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Septuple negative nights. Hasselhoff Spuds for the Daily Mail from Gonzo Socialism. Thank you all for joining me today on today's, what day is it? Tuesday episode of The Paper Thing. This has been episode 60. Just 9 episodes left of season 5 before we hit season 6. Because remember, every season of this series ends on the nicest episode, episode 69. These are all going up on YouTube, so if you have missed anything today or you want to see some old episodes, go to YouTube and you can get them there. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment. Yes, please. Thank you. C122 H122 is sticking with strawberry jam and gives the Daily Mail a negative nice. All right, I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have an excellent afternoon. Bye-bye.